Hi, I'm Jesus from P1 Engines, and today we're going to repair a Miami Leopard starter. Same starter used on a Rotax, a Rock TT, anything that pretty much runs intact. So here we have the starter. This is a brand new starter. First thing we'll do is remove these 3 housing screws, okay, and then this will come off. We'll remove these 2 screws here, pull that little cover off, and that little rubber grommet, you want to slide that out. You're usually going to need a little pick to get in there and pull it out. Once you do that, you'll end up here basically. The reason we're doing it is because the vibration in these engines causes little brushes to break like we have here. So once you lose the connection, you lose the power, you got a dead starter. Okay, so the removal part is the easy part, just pulling the screws out and pulling the actual brushes out. Installing them, there's a couple of different ways to do it, and I'll show you the way we do it. The first one is a simple one. This one just takes a screw. Alright. The second one is the one that actually connects to your harness. You push that through, and what you'll do is, you don't want to just push the rubber in all the way in, because then what you'll find is you'll have a hard time putting this over. So what we do is put the cover over the rubber first, and then slide everything in together. So what we'll do is we'll put one screw here just to hold everything in place. So the trick is getting these springs in here so these things are loaded. And if you're by yourself, any of you that try to do this before will see that it's hard to try to get them both in and at the same time get the starter engine put in. So what we do is you do one at a time. You get the spring, hold it in there, then slide the brush over. Sometimes it takes a couple times to get it in there just right. Once you have the one side in, what I do is I use these little clamps here. And what that does, holds that in place. Other people use a little clip that goes over it. Different ways of doing it. Some guys have 2 people doing it, and one guy holds one side and the other guy does the other side. Once you get this one in there, it's the same thing. And then this way you can just slide the... Sometimes you still have to push back a little bit on the shoes. What you do from here is you can either use a vise, you could put this in a vise and hold it here. What we'll do, since if you don't have a vise, you can just grab some channel locks, some vice grips. At this point, it's a good time to put some silicone around the brushes to help with the vibration, just so they're not sitting there loose. If you leave them like this, they'll probably last you maybe a race day. If you put some silicone, you get a lot more life out of them. There's an O-ring that goes in place. The reason you use the vice grips is the magnets here, when you go and push this over, it'll pull that motor out and you have to start over. So this is a neat way of keeping everything in place. Bushing sometimes comes out of the housing. Slide that in, put your 3 screws in, and you're set.